So what are some of the health benefits that you can expect to get out of water-only fasting? So I put together a list of some of the ones that I think are very important to know. One of the top things for water-only fasting is hormone balancing. Practically every single person that I know, including myself, especially over the age of 30, and even kids, are all having situations with their hormones because we have so many endocrine disrupting chemicals that we're exposed to in our lives, at restaurants and the food and the beverages and everything else. It's becoming more and more common to see imbalances in our endocrine system and in our hormones. So some of the things that you're going to see with water-only fasting is menstrual cycles are usually restored completely after only 2 or 3 weeks of fasting. The biggest thing is fertility. So sterile marriages or infertility or individuals that haven't been able to get pregnant, they've been able to conceive following a fast. Also, impotence in males is corrected after a water-only fast. Now, this is huge. I mean, how many people do you know? Like when I was growing up, there was no such thing as fertility clinics. I didn't even know what a fertility clinic was. Now they're on every corner. Think about it. Listen, I've had people call my office that have told me they've spent over $1 million in the last 10 years trying to get pregnant. And it's equally the male and the female. Mostly males, actually, is why couples can't get pregnant. And after a 9-day water-only fast, supervised, or maybe an 18-day, or maybe you have to go through 2 of them and detoxifying the body and going through a water-only fast, I would say with pretty good accuracy that 90% of individuals could then conceive. The reason why people are unable to conceive are because their bodies are toxic, their environments are toxic. Actually, you don't even need to do a water-only fast in most cases. Just going through an intestinal cleanse, a couple liver and gallbladder cleanses, a parasite, a harmful organism cleanse, a chemical and heavy metal cleanse. We've seen 50–60% of people that have had infertility situations be able to conceive just after cleansing. However, it wouldn't hurt to follow with maybe a 3-day water-only fast. So one of the top benefits of water-only fasting is resetting your hormonal balance and you becoming fertile again. Dr. Carlson and Dr. Kunde of the Department of Physiology at the University of Chicago placed a 40-year-old man on a 14-day fast. At the end of the fast, his tissues were in the same physiological condition as those of a 17-year-old youth. And this is the second benefit of water-only fasting: regeneration, anti-aging. If anyone out there can tell me how you can reverse your age by 50% in 14 days, please let me know, because I haven't found any other way. And this was done at this study was done at the University of Chicago. So anti-aging, I mean, you got people paying millions of dollars to try to biohack and prevent the aging process and do this and do that. Yet you can you can turn a 40-year-old man into a 17-year-old man in 14 days with a $1.99 gallon of distilled water. That's pretty impressive to me. So following up on that research, they also took Professor Child at the University of Chicago also took a group of small flatworms, which had grown old. And then he fasted them for months. So they were just about to die. They were really old. He fasted them for months until they had been reduced to the minimum size. So, I mean, he basically gave these worms nothing for 2 months. And then he started feeding them again. And as they grew back to their normal size, they were just as young from a physiological standpoint as they ever were, just as if they were born again. The conclusion of his study was that partial starvation inhibits the aging process. The worms were brought back from an advanced age to the beginning of post-embryonic life. They were actually reborn. That's a direct quote from his study. Now, I don't like to use partial starvation. I just, we can use partial fasting or intermittent fasting, basically. Now, what he did was he gave them nothing and dry fasted them, and he literally brought them back to life and reversed their aging process from an advanced age to post-embryonic life with nothing but refeeding them after a couple months. That's incredible. That's incredible. Now, a recent study from the University of Southern California proved that fasting for as little as 72 hours flips a regenerative switch, which prompts stem cells to create brand new white blood cells, essentially regenerating the entire immune system. Now, I've been studying immune function, herbology, oils, ozone, everything you can imagine when it comes to natural health on how to regenerate the immune system, how to stimulate the immune system. When people are sick, obviously their immune systems are down, right? I've never in my over 20 years of studying medicine, natural medicine, modalities, found anything that was able to regenerate the immune system and create immune stem cells in 72 hours. And the crazy thing about it is it even happened in the elderly as well. And for anybody who's worked with regenerating the body or detoxifying a body in a patient that's over 70, over 80, over 90, the older that you get, it's harder and harder for the body to regenerate because there's that much more damage done on the system. But if you could fast for 72 hours and regenerate an elderly's immune system, with $1.99 a day of what it costs to buy distilled water, I mean, there's no better cost-effective way to work with somebody than doing that. Now, you have to be careful with the elderly because obviously they're on a lot of medications. Most of them are. And that's another reason why it would be better to slowly transition them into fasting and start detoxifying them. Okay, also, just some fun facts for you. On May 18th, 1933, when Gandhi was in the 10th day of fasting, he was examined by his physicians. One of the physicians stated that despite his age of 64 years, from a physiological point of view, the Indian leader was as healthy as a man of 40. So that was in the 10th day of fasting when they examined him, and he was 64 years old, but he was as healthy as a man of 40. Now, Mahatma Gandhi used to fast for one day every week, and following his assassination when he was 78, the doctors at his autopsy described his inner organs of those of someone half his age. In other words, they looked like someone around the age of 40. And he used to fast one day every week and from 9 to 12 days every year. And that was it. That's all he did. So can you imagine when you're 78 years old and your organs are functioning like they're 40? Pretty amazing. So Dr. Thomas Seyfried also argued in 2010. He's a big fasting researcher at Boston College. He said if you did water-only fasting once a year for 7 to 10 days, you could cut your risk of getting cancer by 99%. And he is the professor of biology still at Boston College. He's a great colleague. I've done interviews with him. Really good guy. And he's been studying scientifically the effects of water-only fasting. So again, it seems to be like between that 7 to 10 day area. I am a big believer in 3, 6, 9, or anything in multiples of 3, 6, and 9. That's the kind of based on the numerical systems of healing. So I really love the 9-day, the 3-day fast, the 6-day fast, and the 9-day water-only fast. So a 9-day, just think about it, just doing a 9-day water-only fast once a year would reduce your cancer risk by 99%. That's pretty amazing. Now, according to an animal study published in Aging Research Reviews in 2016, intermittent or periodic fasting has shown to have a profound impact on counteracting disease processes and improving outcomes of a wide range of age-related disorders, including diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancers, Alzheimer's, and stroke. So those actually are going to be some of the main diseases that, I mean, if you could think about it, if you could have a profound impact on counteracting diabetes, cardiovascular disease, heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, stroke, just by doing fasting, you're talking about, you know, wiping out the deficit of and completely reinventing and changing the healthcare system globally. These are all the diseases that take 90% of the lives and create the stress and anxiety in so many families, and the hurt and the pain and the suffering of so many families. You know, and it's as simple as just doing some water-only fasting.